Thank you, Jim. We're an island.
Give Mayor Longport a round of applause.
We're an island, and whatever our little small barrels can help out to make this economy a little bit better, we're all in for. I think it's a great opportunity for businesses, and whatever we can help out to bring it and make it better, we're all in. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, that's significant. That's significant, what we're doing, because this word called unprecedented, okay? And what we're doing, starting today, is an unprecedented effort to bring all 6 of these beautiful coastal cities together so we can work together. And if we have Bruce Weeks and Pamela Thomas at the front of that leadership, that's going to help us bring some small businesses here, because they run in a small business organization for the city. So, Your Honor, thank you very much for being a part of this first breakfast. And we're going to make something big happen. Yes, sir. So, the fact that Honorable Jason Logren, who is the HUD Region 2 Administrator, he wasn't able to join us because he had to deal with some family issues. You know, a lot of folks are having the flu and COVID right now, and, you know, it's the flu season. But he may be joining us January 24th when we have our second cohort of Cyber Guardian graduates at the Hard Rock. So we may have him come there then, but we're going to continue to work with him on some plans that we can't talk about right now that we're getting ready to do in Atlantic City with HUD, and we hope to be able to work with T-Mobile as well. While we're still waiting for our technologists to help our chairwoman, Commissioner, I would like to introduce this gentleman. Now, I want to tell you something about Commissioner Michael Ruffu. He grew up here, he'll tell you. He's a Atlantic County guy. He used to look like a GQ model before he became a commissioner, right? But then he got to be more official. He's still a GQ, something like Bruce Weeks, but Bruce Weeks is a shot dresser too. But the commissioner now, we met through his aunt, Carol Ruffu, like I said. Carol was a local, legendary individual who was always involved in how to make Atlantic City better. And we met at Carol's funeral and her service, and we just became brothers right away. And we talked every week since that time, and he's always been supportive. And then when he ran for office, recently he got elected. He's an incredibly focused attorney at law, among a lot of other things. And when I told him what we were doing, he said, Jimmy, let me be the liaison and reach out to all the mayors for you. So he's the one that reached out to the mayor from Longport, the mayor from Margate, the mayor from Ventnor, the mayor from Brigantine. Judy Ward called this morning around 5:30. She has the flu. She was really sick. So she said she'd please convey her best wishes to the breakfast, and she's going to work with us in the future. And then our Honorable Mayor Marty Small. We couldn't have gotten this project started without Marty Small's support in the very beginning. So please give Marty Small a round of applause. When we first became an Envision Center, one of the requirements of becoming an Envision Center is that you had to have support of your local mayor. And the Mayor Smalls came to the office, met with HUD, he walked the grounds with us, he gave us somebody to help us from City Hall with workforce training, a young man named Kamal Johnson, and told Pamela and Bruce Weeks to work with us. And so really, I'm very thankful for all the support we received from our honorable mayor. And our prayers are with him and his family always. And we're just going to keep moving forward Atlantic City in a great way. As he says, it's a great day. So without further ado, I would like to ask Commissioner Michael Ruffu to come to the podium because he has something he wants to present. Your Honor.
Jimmy, thank you for that. Thank you for the introduction. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming. Jimmy, I just want to say personally, as a friend and on behalf of Atlantic County, thanks for everything you do for a great community. You're always taking the lead and grabbing the bull by the horns, as they say. You're always one step ahead and always looking out for Atlantic City, Atlantic County, the entire community. So again, thank you very much from myself as a friend and on behalf of Atlantic County. So Jimmy, we have the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners has a proclamation supporting the US-HART cares and the creation of the Atlantic Coastal Tourism District opportunities. And that I'd like to present to you on their behalf. Gotta get the photo. I'll run through the proclamation. It's the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners Legislative Branch Proclamation supporting the US-HART cares and the creation of the Atlantic Coastal Tourism District Opportunity Zone, ACT-DOZ. Whereas the unprecedented efforts of the nonprofit U.S. Humanitarian Aid Response Team CARES, US-HART cares, have led to the formation of the Atlantic Coastal Tourism District Opportunity Zone public-private partnership. And whereas this unique strategic partnership will create a jointly managed initiative dedicated to promoting advanced data, RX5 cybersecurity, and artificial intelligence education and workforce training.
Mental health care right to work.
Sorry. That's all right. Along with expanding economic opportunities that will strengthen the goodwill and prosperity of ACT-DOZ in the communities of Atlantic City, Brigantine, Longport, Margate, Pleasantville, and Ventnor. And whereas this collaboration will provide a pathway toward developing new non-casino business growth within the ACT-DOZ region. And whereas the nonprofit initiative led by US-HART Cares will focus on cooperative efforts and shared benefits that support the 6 Atlantic coastal cities' urgent RX5 cybersecurity workforce training needs while leveraging incentives available through the Qualified Opportunity Zone. Excuse me. And whereas ACT-DOZ will seek strategic partnerships with key stakeholders, including the White House, federal government, United States Congress, the New Jersey Coastal Management Program, Casino Reinvestment Development Authority, the Atlantic City Casino Association, the William J. Hughes Technical Center for Advanced Aerospace, New Jersey Department of Community Affairs, the New Jersey Economic Development Agency, Stockton University, Atlantic Cape Community College, and the Jewish Family Services Organization. And whereas the initiative is designed to promote ACT-DOZ entrepreneurial growth, expand RX5 Cyber Guardian cybersecurity workforce training, supported by federal and private partners, and ensure an equitable distribution of resources that ultimately benefit local taxpayers without costing them a single penny. Now therefore be it proclaimed on this 15th day of December by the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners that this board does hereby express its support of the U.S. Humanitarian Aid Response Team CARES and the creation of the Atlantic Coastal Tourism District Opportunity Zone, recognizing its potential to bring innovative economic development, workforce training opportunities, and collaborative regional advancement to all 6 Atlantic coastal cities. It's signed myself, Atlantic County Commissioner at Large, Ruffu, and our chairman, Richard Davis. So Jimmy, that's for you, for everything you do. Thanks again.
This is for everybody in this room today. You, Councilwoman Maria Lockman, who you and Kaleem Shabazz got us a proclamation from the City Council. Everybody in this room today, this is our joint Christmas present. Thank you, Commissioner. Yeah. Thank you so much. Wow. You know, I'm a sensitive guy. I don't want to cry. Okay? Let me cry. Wow, that's heavy. So, before we bring Horace Jones up, who many of you know Horace, my partner in US-HART Cares. He's the president of US-HART Cares. He's a brilliant cybersecurity guy. But I have to tell y'all something that happened. Y'all gonna like this. So, about 3 weeks ago, we were invited to an event that Pam and Bruce and the Tyler brothers had over in the grind. It was a small business event. So Horace and I sit in the back of the room together. And so when one of the Tyler brothers was introducing us, he says, you know, and that's Jimmy Whitehead right there. He's a cybersecurity expert for 30 years. So Horace and I looked at each other, because Horace didn't know that I was a cybersecurity expert for 30 years. But now I'm a political operative. Let's be real, right? We walked out of the Grand, and all the way from the Grand back to our office, we were laughing so hard because Horace kept saying, I didn't realize you were a 30-year cybersecurity expert. So there y'all know I'm a cybersecurity expert, okay? But yeah, so Horace Jones, who I think his greatest achievement in life is his two wonderful daughters who live in New York. And they're so wonderful that, you know, I started this little thing that Pam Thomas inspired me to do, a podcast. It's called the Jimmy Whitehead Power Hour, because it's between 5 and 6 o'clock when people travel back and forth to work. So I started this podcast, and I'm just blabbing away. Don't have no little agenda, I'm just trying to figure out how to work the buttons, right? So Horace called me and said, look, one of your nieces in New York said you need to focus. They sent me all over the map. So I said, okay, you know what? I'm gonna focus on one thing, our coastal opportunity zone initiative. So thank you very much. And without further ado, I'd like to bring up my brother and our cybersecurity director for US-HART Cares, Mr. Horace Jones. Horace.
But that's okay. So it's good to see everybody. Thank you for coming out. So we are taking the seed that we started, feeding it and growing. We have opportunities in cybersecurity and artificial intelligence kind of sprouting out in a number of areas. We started out with a grant from the Department of Labor. We are working that grant now. We've had one cohort focused on kind of pre-certification for electricians. The current work we're doing, the classes that are going on now, is focused on cybersecurity and artificial intelligence. Real cybersecurity and real artificial intelligence. AI is a term that's thrown around a lot now. But what we are doing with our cybersecurity training is it's not a person standing in front of you kind of talking, read a book. It's hands-on training so that when the students graduate, in addition to getting a certification, the entry certification into cybersecurity, they're going to be able to sit in a network operations center or cybersecurity operations center, and they'll be able to work. And this won't take 4 years. You don't have to have a degree. Think about it, and one of the people from the Department of Labor educated me and said that cybersecurity is considered a non-traditional path. So our goal is to make it a traditional path. We've just got to have more people in. So when they graduate, they'll be ready to work, not ready to learn how to work. The training that they're getting now allows them to get the book knowledge. It allows them to apply that to real world situations. We have equipment in Jimmy's little office there that we built out. We've got 18 in this class. I think probably at least 25% of them will be able to pass their entry level into cybersecurity, their certification, here in about a month. That's a lot more than we expected. The course is typically a kind of 2, maybe 3 phase, but we solicited resumes, kind of tried to make a decision about the level and the scope of kind of technology. So we've got a broad kind of group. They are now speaking as cybersecurity practitioners. They know the language, they know what words mean. We just did a little session last week where they presented to the CEO findings that they found in one of the classes. So it is now maturing into more than just conversation. From the US-HART perspective, cybersecurity is our nugget. But when we talk about cybersecurity, we kind of mean several other things, because cybersecurity is anything in the digital landscape. Watches, phones, all of it. It all needs to be protected. So that's what we kind of educate the class. When we talk cybersecurity, we're talking about defending digital assets, wherever they are. We're also talking about data, because that's what you're protecting. The only thing that hackers go after are the things that are valuable to you. So whatever that is, it's typically a piece of data. So there's kind of the protecting the data and now looking at the data to kind of determine, are there other things we can do with it? What can we learn from this data once we capture it from attacks? And then that kind of pushes us into using artificial intelligence tools to help us accelerate our ability to kind of protect the digital landscape. So we kind of got a couple things going on. The students are getting introduced to a lot. Probably the first 4 weeks, it was literally drinking from a fire hose. It's settled now. They've had their aha moment. They kind of understand what we're doing. We're probably going to have another class start sometime in probably March, kind of after the snow melts, to be kind of our second cybersecurity cohort. As I said, we are introducing what we've done, and personally, I've done this training for 30 years. But I've done it for the government, so it's been behind gates, guns, and guards, and only a limited number of people have gotten this training. So what they're getting is kind of the skills that we use to defend government networks. They're getting that skill, they're getting some exposure. Our instructors, like myself, have done that in a different domain for a long time. So we're proud of what we're putting into the students. It's not your traditional go online and get a book and look through and pass a test. We're not trying to teach them how to pass a test. We're trying to teach them how to be knowledgeable about cybersecurity. So when they sit down and talk to you, or you give them your computer, they'll know which port to go look at, how to scan ports. What does that mean if I see X versus Y? They're going to understand it at that level, so that when we go into graduation and certificate, it'll mean something. It'll mean something to them. It'll mean something to us. So we're glad to see you here. As I said, this thing now is not a seed. It's a sprout. That's what it is now. We're going to keep watering it. To have access to other communities, all value add. If we could look into the future, it would be really nice in that future kind of thinking of what Atlantic City does, to have a network operations center or some kind of cybersecurity collective center that all mayors can use. Because with cybersecurity, my buddy, he's kind of a politician. I'm not. Cybersecurity, the best thing about it, it's bipartisan. It doesn't care what your political views are. So we build the technology to defend the domain in which it operates. So if we can get a real facility with some real gear and connect it up with a vendor that maybe wants to do something in this area, that would be great. And we're going to continue to push. We got grants that are going to be written because we're a nonprofit. So Jimmy's got the hat he'll pass around in a little while if you've got spare nickel. But we're going to keep doing it. We invite you to the class. Certainly contact me if you got any other questions. If you want somebody else to come out and talk to you or wherever you are about what we're doing, please do. We'd love to have you. Thank you.
Before I introduce our next special speaker, I would like to ask all of my cyber guardians who have came this morning, please stand up. Give them a round of applause, y'all. Thank you. These young men and young ladies in Atlantic City are the first of the future of Atlantic City, where it's going. And the first class, we had 20 cyber guardian trainees who were focused on low voltage electrical workforce training. But these individuals in this cybersecurity class are pure cybersecurity trainees. The things that these young men and young ladies are learning today, they're the kind of individuals that the casinos and the healthcare industry and the banks need to hire tomorrow, because they're being trained to help protect Atlantic City and the other 5 boroughs in terms of keeping Atlantic City safe. And I have to tell you, Mr. Giantonio, we're very happy that a couple of your cybersecurity experts at resorts, they've agreed that, we only have 2 more classes left for this cohort. They're going to come over and talk to our cohort about the cybersecurity responsibilities at the casino and the job. So thank you very much. And thank you guys for volunteering to come over to speak to our cyber guardians this week. So cyber guardians, this week you're going to hear firsthand from some folks who are the Chief Information Officer for the cybersecurity for the casinos, because 5 or 10 years from today, I expect to see some of you guys doing what they're doing in the casinos in the future, okay? I love you. I love what you're doing with us. You're everything to us, and you are the first. You're the first to make this happen. So God bless you. So I think my dear friend is ready. Barbara DeMarco, let me tell you, she's an amazing woman who doesn't like to be talked about how great she is, because she is great. There's some things that are happening right now in Atlantic City with some data centers and stuff that I won't get into, but a lot of people know she's the reason it exists. But she keeps her head so low about the things she's done, you would never know how incredible this young lady is. When she heard that what we were doing at US-HART and what we were doing with Atlantic City Business Roundtable, that has also had its events here, just before she became the chairwoman of the Greater Atlantic City Chamber of Commerce. I don't know, Barbara, are you the first? No, the first, okay. Well, she's my first woman at Chamber of Commerce. And when before she became the chairwoman, she said, Jimmy, we need to have lunch. I said, I'd love to have lunch. I didn't know anything about the background. And we're going to have lunch. And she said, listen, she said, there's too many silos around the city right now about small businesses. Everybody's doing their own thing. And she said, what I want to do as a new chairman, I want to bring these silos together so we can focus on how to really get the mission accomplished. And she said, and I'm reaching out to you first, because I want our chamber to partner with your Atlantic City Business Roundtable so we can start addressing some of these needs together. And I was so honored that she called upon me. I was introduced to her by Claire Swift, Assemblywoman Claire Swift. We had some Vietnamese food one day. They told me to come to this little Vietnamese restaurant. So, you know, like you said, I'm a bipartisan kind of guy, of course. And I'll eat chicken, I'll eat Vietnamese food, I'll eat any kind of food you got, I'll eat it. But I enjoyed this meal, and this meal has led to a marvelous partnership with Madam Chairwoman Barbara DeMarco. And can you all join me in a round of applause and welcome to the
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for starting your day with me. About a month ago, I brought my longtime client, IBM, in to speak to the city of Atlantic City, the mayor and town council, about how technology can be used to help solve issues with homelessness. What they showed the group was the work they've done in San Jose, California, Sonoma County, Houston, and how it has reduced homelessness in cooperation with a variety of other groups. It was a comprehensive effort. It wasn't just IBM technology. IBM technology was a capacity building and infrastructure support system for the city of San Jose. From 2019, when they first received what we call the Smart Cities grant, Smart Cities was something also deployed in Baltimore. In fact, it was Teddy, is she here? Hi, Teddy. Teddy, who's a resident of Smart Cities, of Baltimore. She told me the great work that IBM had done down there to help with crime and other things. Because smart cities doesn't have to just be homelessness. It could be to reduce crime by tracking social media. It would be something that helps with permitting. It can be deployed in various different ways to support what's going on. But when they came here, they said, Barbara, pick something. And I said, well, it seems like the biggest issue that's brought to me about Atlantic City is homelessness. And the fact that, there really needs to be a concerted effort, not only with the city and not-for-profits and the state to help solve it. And I said, well, have they ever used technology? And they said, no. So what I'm going to show you right now is the whole comprehensive strategy the City of San Jose put in. And as part of that, remember, it was fueled, and I will tell you how, by IBM technology to make sure that things were seamless, people got what they need, and the issue got better, and it did. So let me look this thing up real quick. I'm not the rest of this slide. Here, go right ahead.